So what are we doing today? Oh, who is this guy? Who's this guy? He looks very, very problematic. That is Jose Antonio Primo de Rivera.
Jose Antonio Primo de Rivera.
Oí desde mi celda la descarga de muerte. Cayó con el brazo en alto. Sus últimas palabras fueron: "Arriba España."
He was the founder of the Falangist movement in Spain. And he was actually, this guy was killed, he was assassinated, executed, whichever term you want to use, by leftists who didn't like him because he was very naughty. And even today, he is seen as a very, very naughty guy. Naughty. You cannot support him, you cannot like him. He's a monster. I mean, look at this boss. Look at him, the evil in his eyes. So we're going to find out, because my friend in these goings down made a video. What does the Spanish Falange want? Right? And then this guy, he wrote down basically what he envisioned for Spain. So first we can see some pictures. Yeah. He had an interesting life, of course, and he has an interesting physiognomy too, the face. There's a sort of like a subtle intensity about it. He doesn't look weak. He doesn't look like a psycho. I guess it's all relative. But I think I have a pretty good way of reading people's faces and such. And I didn't get a bad vibe from him really, to be honest. So, what is that? The hand that's been risen. Oh, that's the Elon Musk salute, isn't it? He must be a test. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Let's move on before we get demonetized. No, I'm not even monetized. The unity and reality of Spain. They want the best for Spain, right? So that this affects all Spaniards. So it's not just a certain class of people. It's not just like the commies. They want the working class to be elevated. No, it's for everyone. Everyone. Spain has a single destiny in the world, and that's the kind of thing that I think is lacking in a lot of countries. It's like an identity. Like, what are we? We are Spain. We are Italy. We are Ecuador. I don't know. Whatever. Korea. What is our destiny? Where are we going? And I think that is needed for a country to really survive and thrive. An empire. He talks about building an empire. I'm not sure. I'm not really like an imperialist kind of mindset. I kind of think we should stick to ourselves in a way, not like go to across the fucking ocean and then like colonize and everything. And I'm not really for that. So yeah. Anyway, maybe it's a different kind of thing there. He speaks of Spain as being like a spiritual access to the Hispanic world. So, I mean, they found the New World in 1492. It's been hundreds of years since he came later. So, in a way, it is a spiritual access for South America. And when you go there, you see a lot of immigrants from South America, and they integrate very, very well, very well into Spanish society. And I've heard them say that they do feel like Spain is still like a motherland in a way. He speaks of the military conception of life to infuse every aspect of Spanish life. Now, I mean, that kind of makes it feel like everything must be militarized. I'm not sure about how much I'd like that, but that's what he said. Spain shall once more seek her glory and her wealth on the sea lanes. But, they were always a maritime power. Really, always. Them, England, the Dutch. So that's very much needed. Our state will be a totalitarian instrument to defend the integrity of the fatherland. Now, obviously, that can be abused as anything, right? Totalitarian. All Spaniards will participate through their various family, municipal, and syndical roles. There will be no participation in it by political parties. So it's not democracy at all. Guys, I kind of lean between thinking like things like this is like, you know what, that's actually a very good idea in theory, right? But then in reality, I feel like I'm almost more libertarian, like just leave me the fuck alone. I'll play ball with the idea of like having a unified state and Spain having a destiny and all that, but look, just leave me alone to do my own kind of thing. So I think I would be a very bad fascist, a very bad totalitarian. That's just not my kind of style of life, Human dignity, integrity, and freedom are eternal, intangible values. So of course someone's going to say, oh, freedom there, but totalitarian there. Look, it's a complex issue, and this is just like the jotted down stuff you stick on your fridge kind of thing. No one will be permitted to use his freedom against the nation. So again, you could say it's like hypocritical, like then how free are you? If it's freedom and it has like an asterisk, I guess that's true. But then if you look at what's happening in America, man, freedom is always very much stressed there, but you have such division. Look, you can't please everyone all the time, and somewhere there's got to be concessions, right? So I mean, for example, if you just like want to tear apart your cities, which has happened in America a lot, I mean, how does that benefit the nation? There's no unity anymore. So it's difficult to say. We'll permit all kinds of private initiative. So I think that's good, man. It's like more like a libertarian vibe. Like, it's not like with the commies where they'll fucking own everything and then you get shit. And you just have to do as you're told. So that kind of thing is a very good point to me. We repudiate the capitalistic system. So a lot of people will say, oh, he's fascist. He's totalitarian, so he's right. So people only think right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right. Communism, capitalism. But there's always a third position. There really is. And capitalism, I think it kind of just... I think any political system where you are reduced down to like an economic unit, which is what happens in communism, but it happens in capitalism just as much, I think that's shit. Because we're human beings. And not everything is just like materialism and capital, and that's it. We're not economic units that are interchangeable. We're human beings. So I like to see that, man. I'm not a capitalist. It speaks of the understanding the needs of the people and dehumanizes private property and causes workers to be lumped together in a shapeless, miserable mass of people who are filled with desperation. Does this guy work in my job? Huh? And this is great to see. This is great. This is like why people are like, oh, how can you like him? He's a monster. He's fascism. And then I see things like that. I'm like, is he wrong? Is he wrong? I mean, think of that quote there. Our spiritual and national conception of life also repudiates Marxism. So he's giving the finger to the capitalist pigs and the ones who talk about capitalist pigs. So that's great, I mean, Marxism, fuck that. That's cancer. That's a virus. A virus. And it must be erased. All who work together in production shall comprise one single organic entity. I guess. Again, it's like, when it comes to economics and things like this, I know it's very important, but I kind of switch off. So the first duty of wealth is to better the conditions of the people. So I think that's very much true. I think there needs to be a social net. I believe in that kind of stuff. I know it sounds kind of leftist, right? But I believe in having a social net. It must never be abused. People who are unable to work, I don't think that they should just be like shunned to the sidelines. You're a scum. No, that's your... If someone has like some disability or they're just not able to work full blast, that's still a Spaniard. That's your brother. That's your sister, a fellow Spaniard. You have to help them. That's a duty. And the wealth from the state should be used to do that, I think. I mean, everyone falls on some hard time sometimes, right? Now, if you're a drug addict or something, a degenerate, and you're just taking money from the state for drugs, then obviously that needs to be corrected. But, I mean, if you just fall into hard times, like maybe you're a woman and then your family dies in a car crash and you're alone and you haven't worked for 20 years, you shouldn't be shunned to the sidelines. The state should help you, definitely. Private property, very much for. Yeah, man, that's good. That's good. Nationalization of banking service. Oh, so there shouldn't be privatized banks or federal banks or banks owned by someone who aren't real Spaniards. Oh, that's a video for another day. Oh, all Spaniards have the right to work. Public agencies must, of necessity, provide support for those who find themselves in desperate straits. Because that happens. I mean, Spain at the time, they had a lot of poverty, and people just unable to work or don't have the opportunity to do so or have no education. So you have to put into also the context of why he's saying these things. Strong, united national spirit, and to instill into the souls of future generations a sense of rejoicing and pride in the fatherland. Now that's a big thing for me too. It's because post World War II, it's very common for Europeans to feel shame and guilt, or just like apathy to any sort of love of their people, or having some sort of unity and like, yeah, I'm a Spaniard, yeah, I'm an Italian. I mean, I think that's so important, the only like acceptable forms of like national expressions of love is like when the sports ball is on, I mean we're not even talking about Germany here. That's Germany. You got to see my friend's videos in these goings down about Germany. He does good ones, man. I can't do those videos, man, because I get too heated. For YouTube. I have to put that shit up on BitChute behind a paywall or something. I don't know. Anyway, no talent will be undeveloped because of insufficient economic means. All who merit it shall be assured ready access to a higher education. This is very important. Culture is so important. Commies and the capitalists, they care about economics. Look, we need to raise our GDP. We need to get more scientists because that's going to raise our economic values and all this. But here they speak of cultural life. And if you've been to Spain, you know how much they love culture. It's beautiful there. Oh, some of the most beautiful cultural things are coming from there. And he speaks like this, So, I mean, if someone... It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm idealistic, but if I see this, and I imagine like some guy on the street who's a guitarist, and he's fucking amazing at flamenco, just amazing, but he's sitting there with a hat in front of him with a few euro coins in it. No, I think the money from the taxes should go to subsidize educating that person so that can raise up and make good culture. That's it. The church and the state will coordinate. Look, I'm not Catholic. I know that's a big thing with the Catholics. So I'm kind of neutral here. It's like I don't want the state and the church to be forced on me. I'm not Christian. So, look, I mean, you don't have to like everything the guy says, So, I mean, I don't like the idea of like totalitarian. Where is he going on there about totalitarianism? Like that. That's not necessarily... maybe I have a misunderstanding of it, maybe not, but then he'll say something about the importance of human dignity, integrity, that these are values, human dignity, because so many people these days, they live undignified lives, and being against capitalism and the commies, that's just great, so I think, you can read a text from an ideology. You don't have to agree with everything, So I think people nowadays think like, oh, you support Falangism, therefore you're a totalitarian fascist. And I'm just thinking, look, the guy's talking about human dignity, sticking it to the commies, sticking it to the capitalists, and he's talking about having pride in the fatherland and the dignity of Spaniards. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's cool. That's what I like, Doesn't mean I want like the church and state thing. Anyway. So that's it. That's what the Falange really wants.
Por favor, que lo van a matar, por favor. ¡Para!
no ha hecho nada, mira lo que le ha hecho.
Le pegó sin motivo. Ahora que se aguante el hijo de la gran puta.
Tranquilo, gol, gol.
Un barrio en el que ya pues los españoles son extranjeros, nos van mirando por la calle porque somos los raros aquí. Un barrio lleno de ocupación, menudeo, prostitución, incluso prostitución infantil, nos ha dicho alguna persona aquí.
Me adoptaron del Codex de Yaman.
Que si Francisco Franco y José Antonio Primo de Rivera estuviesen en esta tribuna, solo nos darían una consigna: unidad y entendimiento para impedir la disolución de España. Vamos a terminar con la cobardía, vamos a terminar con el miedo, vamos a reaccionar firmemente, gallardamente frente a aquellos que atropellen la unidad de la patria, el señor nacional o el honor de españoles. Yo voy a atreverme hoy aquí a daros esta voz de mando. Adelante, españoles, sin miedo